Greetings. Let's get some of these settings going. How's everybody doing? There's that. And we are live. So let's get some hellos so I know where you are, how I sound, and all of that good stuff. Make yourself known. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, Richard. I am doing well. It's amazing. I don't know where you are, but here it is freaking amazing weather. So I got out to the lake today and I got some sun. It doesn't really look like it, but I got some vitamin D therapy and this Leo girl is super happy. Anytime I can get out to the lakefront. And I still have my orbs here if you can see them. I thought that I was going to get rid of them. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Karen, welcome. Welcome to your to the wrap up. We're just waiting for a few people to pop on, and then we will jump in. But how's everybody doing? Is everybody getting outside? Are people working? What's going on? By the way, thank you, Richard, for the sound check. That's very important. This orb. There's an orb that just keeps showing up right on my lip. I don't know even what that means, but it's see, it's wait, there it is. That's actually just a light beam that disappears. You can keep my lips like that. Anyway. So welcome. How's everybody doing? How was your holiday weekend and all those good things? I hope everybody is well and just waiting for being lazy there. I understand, although I was super busy here. So okay, without giving away the store, where are you located? Are you in? Because I don't think you're in Chicago. Whereabouts are you, Richard? By the way, and if you're lucky, I've got the girls on either side of me, so they might be. If you see them walking around, you might get Lily. The baby cat's on top of the big cat, and I can't do anything about it because I'm not going to yell while you're all here. You're in Ontario. Oh, I don't know why I thought you were in the US. Well, hello to Ontario. Is the weather there good or changing? Because here it's just we're getting we're getting a little tease of summer here in Chicago, and this is just a tease, and I know that this is just a tease. So we're going to enjoy it. So hello, and I guess I'm just going to jump in, and we'll see. Hopefully, we can gather steam and and see what's happening, because there was a lot going on this week. So I'm Debbie Taitel from Spirit Light Insight with your energy wrap up for the Curious and Enlightened for the week of, what is the date today? The April 14th, week after Holy Week and Easter. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. So we've got a couple of states here and people are coming on. So this week for the wrap up, it was super buzzy. That's why I called this What's the Buzz? Because the energy was so high, and I'm going to talk about this, was so high the other night. I don't think I got an hour's sleep. It was, spirit was chattering and talking, and the vibration was super high. But the week itself was all about light and expansion, even if it didn't feel like it. It might have felt a little wonky here or there, but I noticed people's crown chakras. That's the energy center at the top of your head. That's your knowingness. I'm going to talk about that. Clearing lots of illusions. This was the week of I guess you could say truth, clearing illusions. So I'm kind of stuck on a vibrating at truth kind of place. But anytime we talk about a raise in vibration and we're talking about the light, we're talking about truth. And we're not talking about my truth or your truth in particular. That would come from, let's say, an ego space. Truth is never about right or wrong. Truth is the thing that never wavers. It wouldn't differ from person to person. Truth is truth. It's the light of truth. It's the light that we can all look at. So, one of the things that happened, and I was talking about it just a few minutes ago before people started popping on, and welcome to everyone who's continuing to pop on. Thank you so much for being here. But the weather's been gorgeous here in Chicago. And the other day, and even today, I got out for a run and to clear my head, get some nice fresh air. And what was amazing was I was running toward the sun at first, so squinting and all of that. And that's what I found was interesting. I was running towards the light and I was squinting. And then when I turned around and I started running back from the light, um, I could see this clear silhouette that was my shadow. And so I was running, and then I got super amused because I was looking at my shadow and how animated, because shadows are pretty animated. And I was enjoying that. And then I decided to just kind of look at what was in my shadow self. Like, so much of being clairvoyant or psychic or any of those things has to do with asking the right questions. I think we always have to ask the right questions in order to get our answers. Anybody out there ever ask a question and they don't get an answer, let's say, to the question that they're asking, but that's because it was a different question that needed to be asked? I don't know if anybody's experienced that but me, but I know that has happened to me. So what I started to notice was the reason that I had to get outside and just put down my work and put down everything was that I was releasing a lot of anger. And as I was running, I decided to start inviting it out. And then I was feeling better and better. But isn't it interesting that I had the light at my back? So when I was running into the light, I was squinting. Right? I don't know. I don't know if I want that door opened fully. But then as I was running away from the light and I was getting used to all that light and all that sunshine, that's when I could start to explore. So how was your week? How was everybody's experience this week? Was it buzzy? Was it weird? There were a lot of family things with the holidays. So how was everybody's holiday? How was the family? I know Richard said the weather in Ontario has been beautiful there. Whoops, in Ohio. Can you tell I'm doing 1,000 things and I don't quite know where all these buttons are? It's crazy. But yeah, I want to hear about everybody's experience too as people kind of pop on. But as I was alluding to earlier, the crown chakra has been really buzzy. So if you've had sort of a buzzy or what I call loud head experience, put your comments in, from wherever you are. And I'm just going to do a quick check because I see everybody on from YouTube, but I don't see the Facebook people. So I just want to make sure that is working properly. Yep. That's right. Okay. I just wanted to double check because usually everybody's coming in from every different channel. But I was experiencing this sort of buzziness and this loud head, lots of chattering. And the crown chakra is that energy center at the top of your head that is all about your knowingness and your ability to bring in answers and just know what they are, that things just come to you. And then, of course, it comes from your crown chakra, and then you can actually look and see then from your sixth chakra, your clairvoyance. So you've got your knowingness, and then you've got your clairvoyance. So what I started to notice when I was reading it and reading various clients is all this kind of, it was almost like an eggshell that was around everyone's crown chakra, and this light and vibration was coming in. Hello, Angela, welcome. Um, that this kind of head space was just starting to clear from this higher vibration, from this light coming in. It wasn't that there were things that were more chaotic. It was actually that the light was coming in, and that's what was happening. Tammy is sharing that lots of buzzing, husband's hip replacement. Hell, oh, stopped over a week ago. I can breathe now. Yeah, that happens. Healing is a great thing. It really, really is. And Richard is sharing that few nights of buzziness and mind racing. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like mind racing in many directions at the same time. And some of that is also the light coming in, because what happens is when we as the light comes in, it shows us also different pathways that maybe we want to explore. So it can be really interesting all the way around. But nighttime, the astral's been, and it's been a few weeks that it's actually been buzzy. I think I talked about it like a few weeks ago too. That it was like little buzz going on like the whole night long. And so this is as the energy starts to crack off of our crown chakras, we're clearing the limits. The what is crackling off are the limits that we have, limits to what we know, and as a result, limits to what we see. But we're also clearing this chatter and distraction energy. So even though it does feel super distracting, right now, um, it's gonna calm down. Let's see, Richard. Had to jot down many of my thoughts I've had as they came and went so quickly. Yeah, do that. In fact, I've had my phone set to voice memo, because I've had the same thing, that these thoughts and these things that I want to create buzz by so quick that I am using my voice memo. So yeah, they are coming and going very rapidly. And the weird thing is that, so it's going to be really challenging to be able to tell, let's say, the truth from the lie, or discerning the truth, because some thoughts are other people's thoughts, and then some thoughts are our thoughts. So once we write them down or get a little voice memo, we can look at those things. Um, yeah, back and forth. It's interesting, Richard, if you want a little energy read on that, because you're not that high tech. Richard says it's a great idea to use voice memos. I'm not that high tech. Well, I only think of it because it's the fastest way. It's the thing I have the most handy. But Richard, you're actually clearing a whole bunch of energy here, and getting ready to embark upon some creative endeavor, which I'll be very interested to see. It might be some sort of hobby or something that you've always wanted to do, but there was always, oh, I don't have time, or I'm not that talented, or I'm not that high tech. could be any of the above. But you're in a wonderful growth period right now, Richard, and that's what's going to come out of it, as I see you kind of releasing a lot of kind of a grayish energy, and you're going to have a lot more clarity. And so those pathways that are opening up in your head are really everything I'm talking about, because it's affecting everybody at different levels, but it's affecting everyone. Um, you are very welcome. I honestly, I can't wait to see and hear about what you. Yeah, I knew that. We knew it. We don't care about your spelling. I am a grammar Nazi though, but we don't care about the spelling. Yeah, you're very welcome. You really are clearing some very like long-term energy that you've been concerned about and kind of caring for and became responsible for. And that's the other thing I see people releasing, is a lot of energy of where they've become responsible for other people's energy. And Karen, I'll address yours in a second, but I think, Tammy said it about the buzzing of her husband's hip replacement. So Tammy, you really became responsible for his healing and his energy, and that's part of your agreement. And so I'm glad that you're starting to let all of that go and kind of move into a new space. Karen, you've been feeling unmotivated. Yeah. So there's a little bit of that, but see, I wasn't planning on doing readings, but see, you that are here get the benefit of when that does happen, when I start to get the energy and pictures of kind of what's going on. But Karen, for you, you've been in a great deal of effort, and it's like, how we fight and push to get something going, and we just can't seem to push through or get through. And then suddenly we're just like, well, what's the use anyway? What's the use anyway? And that's kind of the energy I'm looking at for you, Karen, is what's the use anyway? I fight, I struggle, I'm here. And now actually, and I'm going to talk about this. Oh, Tammy, I will come back to that. We're going to talk about this. But for Karen, that is um, a space that you now get to explore and clear the resistance and clear the effort. And instead of looking outside yourself, look within. It's well, and I do have an answer. If next week I was going to talk about this a little bit, but I'm going to talk about it now. So I'm actually doing a little workshop, a real workshop. It's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be on Zoom, but we're going to do a workshop called Rooted in Nature, a guided meditation for healing and intention setting, because it's on the night of the new moon, the day after the eclipse. I'm going to talk about all those things. But Karen, it's time for you to actually capitalize and be in your own space and release the effort. You actually don't have to fight. You just need to shine from the inside out. You don't have to look outside yourself for all the answers and the struggle and trying to make other people happy and all of that. So, maybe you'll consider, I think you're on my mailing list, so you might have gotten the notification. It is a free workshop. It'll be like an hour and 15 minutes with a chat back. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some healing. So hopefully you'll join us, but that is the space that you are in, Karen. And I just want to say congratulations. That's a good space to be in. And as we go, we're in the Mercury retrograde shadow. So that's not a bad thing. Back to Tammy. Almost divorced. He was hearing voices, screaming and yelling. It was so bad. That's what trans mediums do. That's what I'm going to say. That is what trans mediums do. Uh, um, hmm, yeah. He has some relatives. He had some shrieking relatives in there that had crossed over. And so, seriously, these are the kinds of things that when that happens, you are all welcome to email me and maybe I can help you through some of that, because that was that punishment and all of that energy and rage that was happening there. Tammy really had nothing. It really wasn't him, but it was all coming through. So I'm sorry that happened. The workshop is, oh, when is that? Yeah, I could have said it is on, when is it? It's on the 20th. It's on 420. No, we're not getting high, but it is on 420. Night of the new moon at 7:30 Central. So wherever you are, if you're in Eastern time zone, you're an hour ahead. If you're in Mountain time zone, you are an hour behind. If you're on the Pacific coast, you're 2 hours behind. So, and it's all on my, let's see, it's all on my website. You can find it on my booking site at spiritlightinsight.com/online-booking, or just go to my website, spiritlightinsight.com, and that will, and then you can look for book an appointment, and then you'll be able to see it. Yeah. I can leave that up there for a minute, but I think you all have my website. Yeah. spiritlightinsight.com. Yeah. So, and I'll put up there. There's also, if you look on the bottom of the YouTube uh, thing, and actually I'll link it in the ones on Facebook as well. But there's actually a link right to it. So I would love to have you all there. But we were talking about the crown chakra. We're talking about effort. Oh goodness, Karen, check your email. You're on my mailing list. You got the notification. Yeah, no, I understand. I do. Sometimes we just don't want to look anymore. It just is, it's exhausting sometimes. But anytime we are in effort or we're experiencing extreme buzziness, anything like that, don't push the buzz away. That's resistance. If you're, got a high vibration at night, read a book. Don't resist the high vibration. Just keep saying hello to it. And because we always have to let it be in order to let it go. So there we have some of these things happening, and the opportunities that are here. Because there are many opportunities, and I'm just checking some stuff here. Getting some messages here. So, yeah, crown chakra, buzzy energy or knowingness. So also if you're fuzzy headed, that's part of what that is. So you really need to ground and center however you do that. It doesn't need to be a super heavy meditation or anything like that. Just kind of ground and center and get back with the program. So next up, because that was a big part of the week. And even if you follow other astrologers and things like that, one of the things I do is I look at the energy, and then sometimes I compare it with the astrology, and it's amazing how in line it is, and it can be. It's really something. So the Mercury retrograde shadow. So let's see, this week started on the 10th, right? But the Mercury retrograde shadow actually started on the 8th of April. That's the slowdown, the official start of Mercury retrograde. Actually is on April 21st, 2023. So the shadow is kind of it starts to slow down. And by the way, for the record, Mercury retrograde is all an illusion. The planet is not really going backwards, but it just appears to be going backwards. But we are in the shadow period, so it's very much the same as a Mercury retrograde. We want to cross our T's, we want to dot our I's, we want to check and double check everything, whether it's real estate contracts or travel plans, anything like that. Mercury retrograde affects all forms of technology. So have your amusement that there's going to be a slowdown. Things are going to go south or north, whichever you expect them to go. They're going to go the other way. And seriously, it hit already. So I was talking about my email that I sent about the workshop that is happening next week. So I already started my shameless plug, but we'll get more shameless. It's okay. So I sent out an email telling people about the workshop, and then I had a little blurb about this weekly wrap up, this energy wrap up, kind of at the bottom, and I put in the time is 4:30. I put in the workshop time as 4:30 Central Time, and the workshop is actually at 7:30 Central Time. So I didn't even realize it. I read that email 20,000 times, double checked it, triple checked it, and then bam. And I'm getting emails from people how actually my friend's phone died this morning and then she got it working. So there's all kinds of little tech things that are already happening. So the official start of Mercury retrograde is April 21st, 2023, and that's when it really hits. So you don't need to fear this cycle, but you can use it, just like I was telling Karen a little bit earlier. You want to use this cycle. It's a natural cycle. It happens several times a year. So why don't we work with it instead of being afraid of it? Yeah. So, in fact, I think I have one. I have a Mercury retrograde video somewhere in the mix. So you can check that on my channel. But the benefits of Mercury retrograde, because this is really wrapping up the week, right? Because we're going right into this full steam ahead, is intuition is heightened. We're extra sensitive to energy. So that also can be causing some of that buzziness, is that we're sensitive to the energy that's already there that maybe we weren't aware of before. But we can fix during a Mercury retrograde, it's there to fix errors that maybe we didn't see. Maybe there's a project that we didn't finish that we want to kind of spruce up and then finish. It's also a time you can clear up old karma and old agreements. You can complete things that are left undone. That's the beauty of this cycle. So if you use it wisely, it works for you, not against you. So Mercury retrograde, all about the re words, R-E. Relax, review, release, revisit, revise, rejuvenate. What are the other re words? R-E words. I don't know. There's a bunch of other RE words that we can use. So that is already happening. So what kind of slowdowns have you noticed? Anybody have any wonky tech? That's usually the first thing to go. I'm seeing a yay and a nay over here, and yes, it's been wonky out there. Seems like a good opportunity for redos. Yes. Redo, revamp, revise. Yep. Yep, all those redos. And you know what? That's not a bad thing either, right? Because we can fix things, not that things need fixing, but we can decide that, they didn't work, or do school board Wi-Fi has been down all week. Yeah. Who else is what? Somebody else, a couple other people said that the Wi-Fi was down all week. We've got some. So in addition to all the planetary stuff, the astrology stuff, there are some people futzing around with technology on a higher level, and some of the beings, the ETs, are kind of a little bit active right now. Um, Anytime a tremendous amount of light comes in, like what I was talking about earlier, that's when the certain controls, the people that are sort of in charge of what we see or what we don't see, things like that, um, those controls get very, very nervous, because the more people that let in that light, the more truth comes out, because the illusions are falling away. It's like it's like a facade or something that just kind of filters away. So, goodness, there is a lot. So, in addition, isn't it amazing? There was a lot that went on for the week, and then there's a lot that's actually coming up. And while I really wanted to keep this as a kind of a weekly wrap up, how can I not talk about the energies that are coming in that are already affecting us? And there is a solar eclipse next week. I don't know if you're aware of it, but on April 19th and 20th, depending on where you're at. So maybe it's probably going to hit Angela on the 19th, our time, maybe the 20th. I don't know how that, Angela, you'll have to tell me. I don't know how that works, but it's on the 19th or 20th. It's a very powerful eclipse, this particular one. And we're feeling it. And that's the other part. And in fact, I wonder if the solar eclipse and the thing going on, because that's a sun thing, and sometimes when there's things going on with the sun, there tends to be a lot of little glitches and things like that. I don't know, but yes. So there's a solar eclipse. We're feeling it. Eclipses bring sudden and abrupt endings to things, typically. So, in addition to that, so anytime we abruptly eclipse something out, it also eclipses something in, which are these new opportunities and new beginnings. And I think, Richard, actually, that's part of what you were feeling as well, where there's pathways and things that you want to create, which is what it looks like to me. And you're deciding, actually, all of us are deciding what we want to eclipse out. It's like an acceleration of letting go, and then an accelerating bringing in. Yeah. So it's a natural cycle. But you're going to notice that this one happens to be coming at a time of great transition. So I don't know if you've noticed, or maybe it's just my timeline is filled with people's family members and friends who are all transitioning. So there's a wave of souls leaving. There's also going to be a lot of babies born. So there's a wave of souls coming in. But there's a lot of people that are transitioning, going from into spirit to the next spirit space that they go into. Our lives are transitioning. There's people transitioning out of traditional jobs and into more remote or more creative endeavors. And all I can say is just give yourself a big fat breath and just let yourself have it. Let yourself do it. Don't be shy. This is a time of great transition. So this eclipse can help you let go of whatever is stopping you from any kind of release, any kind of um, moving forward. Yeah, it's gonna help with energy blocks. So everything happens on the astral first. Did y'all know that? That everything happens on the astral? Like in your dream space, even if you don't remember it, everything happens there first. So that's part of what deja vu is. We're remembering what was happening on the astral, which I think is always kind of fun, but we're remembering that. But yeah, everything happens on the astral first. So this week, we're actually preparing for next week. So if your dreams have been weird, that is what's going on. So just really have your awareness in your dream space, have your awareness about what's coming up for you, and just give yourself some space. It looks like each one of you here is actually making some sort of shift. Karen says, wow, that's amazing. So I'm guessing, Karen, that part of what you're experiencing is that right now, right? You're in that kind of space where you're getting ready, you're gearing up. Dreaming a lot about lost friends. There is a lot of communication, Tammy. Um, and, I would say they're not really lost. They're just kind of in a different place spiritually. And one thing that it looks like in your communication with your friends or your dreams about friends is they're trying to tell you it's all going to be okay. Now, I'm not saying you're going to die, but that they're okay. They're checking in with you. There's something about, there's like a group of friends almost where it looks like a group. I don't know why it's a group, but there's like a group of friends who were very dear to you. And when you were younger, it looks like you did a lot together. So, but yeah, there's a group. And I just said that because they were exes. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde, I hear from all my exes. Have I ever mentioned that here? Almost every single one of them. Yeah. But Tammy, you actually also have people who have crossed over who are kind of in a group. I don't know if it's a family group, but there's people that you used to do things with that are there. So be aware of some of the folks that are there and saying hello. And Richard says, it's interesting. I've sometimes felt we're in a spiritual war that has already been won on the astral. Interesting. I'm going to have to look at that. I haven't really looked at a spiritual war because in spirit, there technically isn't war. There's only light. There's oneness of spirit. But I will have a look at that because um, it's an interesting aspect of part of, as I was talking about the shadow world, when I was looking at my shadow world right at that moment. And so that's interesting. But what I would say is follow your intuition. And so here's where, and Christine, I will hang out for a little bit, Christine. If there's light, there must be darkness. While that is true, the darkness can't exist where there is light at all. So in that way, yes, the spiritual war has been won. Yeah. But there is a sense, and so here's what I'll say about that. So I'm not disputing that. I'm actually saying just use your intuition and go, because you're right. Everything is in balance. There are forces, let's say, on both sides. There's always kind of a balance. But if we talk about the oneness of spirit, it's going to all be light and bright, right? So in that way, but yes, I've heard that all over the place too. You can feel it. One of the things that I'm saying about the what we can feel, because you can feel that in the body, not just on the astral, but you can feel that in the body. And one of the things that I notice is just the level of resistance. There's a lot of sometimes resistance to the light, resistance to spirit. Yeah, we all want to kind of be a body. So I'm going to look at that for you, Richard, and come up with a much better answer, because that's what I do. I'm not omniscient, but I do I do look at energy. So thank you for sharing that, because that's it's that's your feeling self. And so that's the best thing we can use right now. So, but yes, if there's light, there's going to be darkness, just kind of overall. So Christine said, hello, hoping to hear from a loved one. That's not technically what I'm doing here, but if you want to share, Christine, who is this person, maybe I can tune into them and see if they're there. It's so unfortunately, when with spirit, it's not always okay. I want to hear from so and so. It's whoever is coming in. And of course, one of my streams, of course, Mercury retrograde. I just got this big orange banner across my screen that said one of my streams has connection issues. And it looks like I hope it's connected. I hope it's reconnected. Hoping a grandparent, if I can, or a past friend. So I'm definitely not getting a grandparent for sure, but I'm getting a younger person. Is this friend a male or female? Good. I'm good on YouTube. Okay, Christine, am I good on Facebook? One of the streams went down. Don't know who. I hope it's not. So, Christine, I'm actually looking at, just saying hello. There's somebody waving at me. Yabby, hello. Oh my gosh. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. But there is a younger person who is there, and it's actually it's a male. So I don't know if your friend is male or female, but looks like a friend who's male who there's really no message per se, but they're waving and they're saying, "Oh, I'm here. I got stuff to do." Um, So it's interesting when I look at your energy. Yes, I'm glad you're here, Yabby. Excellent. So Christine, when I look at your energy, there's a very low ebb, a very kind of a sadness and a grieving that is absolutely there. And some of the pictures, because this is what I do here, is some of the pictures that I'm actually looking at you processing, and maybe some other folks that are here are processing similar energies or similar pictures. But part of what I'm seeing, Christine, is that futility of um, what's the use anyway? Why should I go on? People leave, people die, people are gone. What's the point of this life? And it looks like several of you are kind of in a little bit of that space. And how I'm going to answer that is that spirit is eternal. It's the body that goes, not the spirit. The spirit is alive and well and doing some things. And for Christine, I'm really seeing that, especially whoever this person that is communicating is also sharing with me, that nothing was left unsaid. It's okay, even though you might be feeling that there was something you wanted to say or you didn't share with them, and they're kind of saying, I knew that, or that they knew what you wanted to say, so it's all okay. So that's what I'm going to say there. um, Hello, Marianne. Nice to see you. You know where my text is, although it's off for right now while I'm doing this YouTube. And Richard, you've been feeling that as well. Um, that kind of futility of life. That's an energy that's going around. That's a big thing. And so that's not your energy. When there is an energy, a blanket energy that affects a bunch of people, sometimes what happens is each one of you has an ability as an empath in your own right. And so sometimes we pick up the futility of others, especially people if they're sad or frustrated or grieving. Yeah, I hope that can explain it. So we pick up other people's energy, and we are affected by other people's energy, very much so. Um, so Tammy asked, oh wait, oh, Richard said you feel it a lot when you're out in public. Yeah, one of the things I teach in my class series, and actually even in some of the workshops, is how to protect your space. But it's not like drawing a line in the sand. It's not like having a boundary, because when we do that, that's just in resistance. Okay, so there's actually a way. Just so when you feel it a lot, it's okay. Just kind of pull your aura in. Just even if you don't know what your aura is, it's your energy bubble. Just kind of pull that in, and kind of around you, and just say hello to it and recognize that it's not yours. And Richard, if you meditate, then when you get home, you want to sit down and you want to just kind of clear that energy so you don't carry it with you when you go to sleep at night or to the next day and things like that. And if you don't have a meditation, you can go to where you can go to where are my free meditations? Here we go. I have free meditations on my website on a guided meditations page. I would recommend, to make it easy, you can go to my link tree, https://link tr.ee/spiritlightinsight. Or you can just go directly to my website, spiritlightinsight.com, and go to the guided meditations. Grab a meditation. There's lots of resources there for you. Marianne, yes, text me later. Tammy asked, do they hear our thoughts? Well, so they don't sort of think in the way that we do, but they do. So they don't hear our thoughts like we hear things, like through our ears. Have you ever heard spirit? You ever get a buzzing in your ear, or a high pitched energy? That's spirit talking to you. So yes, they know what's happening. Um, Karen says, great explanation. I get drained easily from being around people lately. Oh my God, girl, let me just tell you, I had a weekend where I was around family, and I had a date, and then I went to somebody's house for Easter dinner. I had to take a mental health day. It's on my calendar. I will show you all my calendar. I can't do it here, but I literally blanked out my entire Monday to take a mental health day. By the way, we all need to take mental health days. We all need to give ourselves that space, whatever that means to you. To me, it was to get some work done and to create some stuff and get out and just go work out and really. But yes, it's not just you, Richard. It's not just Karen. It's not just any of you, right? Not even going to go into that. Tammy, it was a little bit of a disaster, but it's okay. Very nice guy. Disaster date. It's okay. So there we have that. But yeah, Karen, if you get drained around people, that's okay. Or it's not okay that you get drained, but it can be exhausting. There's a lot of energy, and then when we're not owning our space, we feel that doubly triply. Karen says that left ear has been ringing nonstop. Well, dang it, Karen, say hello to whatever being that is that's talking to you and ask it to slow down and see if you can't get a message. Reason it buzzes and it rings like that is it's ringing is it's trying to get your attention. So sit down, give yourself a meditation, which I'm going to do. I'm going to actually do a meditation shortly. And I should do my shameless plug for the day. So if you're liking what's happening here and the readings and the information and all of that stuff, you can support this stream by aiming your phone at this little virtual tip jar. If you all know how to use a QR code, and you take a little picture of it and it'll send you to Venmo. My handle on Venmo is Debra, Debra dash Taitel, Taitel. It's right at the top of the screen, right there if you're on Venmo, or you can this will take you right to your Venmo. You can also just go to my Venmo account. See that? Debra dash Taitel. So that's the thing, because yeah. So if you're liking what's happening here, support the stream. It's just a tip. And I appreciate it in advance if you decide to do that. So cool. Thanks, Deb. Didn't know about the ear ringing. Ah, yes. Yes. Family will do that to you. Yes, it will. I cannot do a super chat here until I get like 1 million more followers, like my good friend, dear Michael Arrington. So I can't. No, I don't know even then what super chat is. I thought you were looking at the, yeah, I can't do that yet on YouTube. So I would say you can also message me and I can send you this information, because most of you are friends on Facebook. If we're not friends on Facebook, let's be friends on Facebook. So I will look into super chat. I don't know what that is, but for now we've got a Venmo tip jar. If you don't use Venmo, like I said, you can message me and we'll figure out something else. Let's get back to the chat. So yeah, I didn't know about the ear ringing. Yep. And if you sit down in meditation, sometimes you will get you will get the message that you need to hear and you want to hear. So it's all good. So, oh, you can, I'll message you. I'll message you the link. Yeah. See, I don't think of these things sometimes, that you're actually on your phone watching me. So I need to send a link, but I'll message you the direct link. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And for those of you who have been sending, weekly tips. Thank you kindly so much. That helps keep this going. So that's the buzz. That's the wrap. That's the wrap up for the week and kind of lead into next week. Please stay till the end of the meditation. I do have some announcements that I'll make, so I hope that you can all stay. Because I won't be here next week. So, but I got some exciting news for what's happening the week after. We've got some piano readings coming in. They're going to be live piano readings right here on this channel at 4:30 on the 28th. We're going to have my friend John Saxon on here doing live piano readings. I'm so excited. I'll probably do some readings. Who knows what other guests? We might have a menagerie of guests. So bring your friends, bring your neighbors, and bring all that. But for now, let's really wrap up this week and let go of it. And if we need a message from Spirit, I'm going to actually set that up so that you can get your message from Spirit right here and now. So give yourselves a breath and put your feet flat on the floor wherever you're sitting. This is not a cross-legged meditation. It's just a chair meditation. And you can either gently close your eyes or turn your gaze downward. I'm going to do a little shift up because of all the questions about Spirit that we'll add in. And so if Christine is still here, maybe you can get a message during this meditation. So hang with us if you can. So for this week's meditation, it's time to focus on the light and let it in and let go of the illusions that we've made real and get messages from Spirit. So just be in that comfortable seated position with your feet on the floor and close your eyes and give yourself a breath. And actually give it to yourself. Don't just take the breath, but give it to yourself like a gift of life. And by the way, anybody who's sending a tip, whatever it is, I appreciate it. So you don't have to worry. So just give yourself a breath. Give yourself that breath of life, that breath that brings oxygen to all the cells in your body, to your heart, to all the different organs. And then rest your attention behind your eyes and center of your head, in that place where you're in charge, in your soul sanctuary in the center of your head. And as you rest your attention behind your eyes in the center of your head, just notice any thoughts or communications, things you have to do. And just begin to open a skylight and just begin to let some light in, some golden light come into the center of your head. And then you can invite out any of those thoughts or communications or things you have to do, just so you can have a space for you right here and now in the present. And as you're in the center of your head, just imagine that you're sitting in a room that is comfortable and joyful for you to be in. And that it's a room for you to make space for yourself. Space to be who you are as you are. And a space to communicate with Spirit, whether it's communicating with your inner light or communicating with spirit who's trying to communicate with you. Just be right in the center of your head and let the light in. And just begin to let go of anything that's not you, anything that's pulling at you, anything that you've been responsible for. And as you begin to quiet your space down, say hello to that area at the tip of your tailbone where your first chakra, that energy center, is located. And give yourself another breath, filling up with that oxygen. As you say hello to that energy center, and then out in front of you, go ahead and visualize a big, beautiful oak tree with its roots rooted into the ground. Notice the bark and the thickness of the trunk. Notice the depth of the roots and that they go all the way down into the center of the planet. And notice how your body is adjusting as you're just looking at this beautiful oak tree. And then go ahead and imagine that you're flattening the top of that oak tree and that you're going to sit right on top of it. You're going to bring that oak tree right to that first chakra at the tip of your tailbone, and you're going to just connect it in there, and you're going to become one with the oak tree. And then go ahead and give yourself a breath, and as you exhale, just imagine you're letting go of anything that doesn't serve you, energies of the weak, the energy of resistance. Give yourself a breath right into your belly and begin to just release anything that you've been trying to control or push away or any kind of effort. And just notice if there's a tingling in your feet or your fingers. Notice if you feel like there's a sense of being drawn down into your body. Whatever you notice is correct. Whatever you notice is your experience. So just have that experience. There's no right or wrong. Give yourself a breath and give yourself elbow room and space to be who you are as you are. That nothing needs fixing or changing. Now give yourself a breath and breathe in the light of truth. Not my truth or your truth or truth that somebody else told you. Just light. Breathe in the golden light of truth. Let that light, once you breathe it in, go through all the different areas in your body, just flowing through like the blood flows through your veins and arteries. Notice what you feel like, and continue to breathe deeply. As you breathe in this light of truth and let it shine on those areas of darkness. And maybe there's a question you have, or maybe there's a place you want to explore, like a shadow self, like I was doing an exploration. Just take your golden flashlight of light and begin to shine it on the light of truth, so you know the truth. So if you've been asking a question about, something in your life, instead of trying to figure it out and asking everybody for all kinds of things, open a space so that you can just see the light. You can see the answer. You can have the answer come to you, and just shine the spotlight on that question. And now, for those of you who have been missing friends who have crossed over and you'd like to get a message, just have your attention rest behind your eyes in the center of your head. And just decide that you're open and willing to receive a message from your loved one, from your grandpa, from your beloved, even from maybe even a pet. And just notice what happens when you're grounded and you're open and willing to receiving instead of going outside of you seeking. Give yourself a moment. I actually see several of you have some family members who have crossed over, who are here whispering things in your ear. Enjoy the messages and let the emotions come up, and just let all the emotions go about it. Notice you're grounded, you're in a safe space, even if you're listening to this later. And then once you've gotten your message and your communication, be right back in the center of your head and invite your loved ones to leave. And I want you to notice that I'm saying invite them to leave, not that you're pushing them away or ushering them out. Appreciate the message, appreciate being in communication with the earth. And now give yourself a breath and just go ahead and release anything that kind of came up in the last few minutes while we were doing that little exercise. That's a big deal when you start to get messages from spirit, messages from your loved ones who have crossed over, messages from your pets who have crossed over. Give yourself this moment. And now give yourself a breath and imagine a beautiful golden sun above your head, filled with light and love and joy, filled with enthusiasm. And in fact, go ahead and call back your life force energy into that golden sun and watch it grow even brighter and bigger than it was. Call back any of your life force that you've given away this week, or last week, or last month if you're new here or listening for the first time. And then Imagine that gold sun shining down on you, filling up every part of you. Just have it come in from the top of your head and fill up that crown chakra that we talked about earlier. You can speed up that process. Just bring in all the light to that crown chakra. Fill up your whole head and brain and analyzer and neck, shoulders, arms, fingers. You can wiggle your fingers. Let that gold come right on in. Fill up your chest and your belly and your legs. Fill up your knees. Knees need a lot of gold energy. Invite the gold sun in to fill you up and light up wherever there's darkness with the light of truth, with the light of your own energy, with the light of your enthusiasm, with the light of your joy. Fill up in between the cells. Fill up all the different systems, your respiratory system, circulatory system, all the different systems in your body. I'm not going to go through them all. And just imagine now that you're sitting in a bubble of golden light. And be seated back in the center of your head. Give yourself one more really deep breath of light, and then slowly exhale. And then go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. Just kind of pat your body a little bit. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes and just kind of return to yourself. Come on back from wherever you went. And as you're, just take a big stretch and yawn, bend over, dump out. You can shake out your neck and shoulders. That tool, I'm going to do that every single week, this grounding and gold suns, to actually release and then fill up. It's one of the most powerful tools, and I teach it in every workshop. It's just very nuanced. We worked with light and spirit, and I am so curious if anybody got a message from Spirit. I would love to hear about it. You can either send a message here, or you can reach me on any of the social media channels. But hopefully you kind of stuck with me. This is very transformative, so give yourself space to be. And transformation begins the moment you see your next step. So as we look forward to our weekend, right? It's Friday. I didn't even know what day it was just now. It's Friday, TGIF. So as we look forward to our weekend, decide one thing for your weekend that you want to give yourself to help you move forward. Remember, we got the eclipse, we got all that stuff, but what would you like to move forward with? And just decide you're going to move forward with it. You don't even have to see how to do that yet. Don't even worry about the how. Just decide that it's something you'd like to give yourself, and just put it in motion by just that thought process. So I hope you all enjoyed this week's live. Feel free to message me on a personal. So next week, as I said, I'm not going to be here next week doing the wrap up, and if I do, it'll be kind of a last minute thing, because I will be on a spiritual. I'm not even on a spiritual retreat. I'll be on a personal narrative storytelling retreat, hearing some of the most amazing storytellers and how to tell good stories. Oh, we're getting some messages here from the folks. Very effective. 2 of my kitties participated. Animals love these meditations. One touched me very softly on my arm during the meditation. I love it. My cats do that too. I love it. Tammy, you are so welcome. I will be messaging you. But so I'm going to be on retreat. But the week after, as I was saying, before the retreat, many blessings, Richard. I am doing that workshop. Please go to my website to check it out. Rooted in Nature, a guided meditation and healing and intention setting. So we're going to be doing a guided meditation, grounding, releasing, and then we're going to be setting our new moon intentions because we're doing it on the night of the new moon. So it's going to be a very powerful time right after the eclipse. It's on 420 at 7:30 Central Time. I hope you can all make it. It is not a live stream, so you'll have to register, but I would love to have you all there. And then the week after for the wrap up, my friend John Saxon's going to be joining us doing piano readings. It's going to be amazing. They're already, I've been reading some of he had a tree fall in his house and he did a piano reading about it, which is amazing. So we're going to talk about that and he's going to be doing them live. So mark your calendar for April 28th at 4:30 Central Time, 5:30 Eastern Time. Mountain Time, I think, is 3:30 and Pacific Time is whatever. Pacific Time is from 7:35, 5:30, 4:30. 7:36 or 5:30, yeah, Pacific time. I'm going to try and get it set up so you can set up your reminders. Check out the upcoming workshop. It's always a pleasure. So for now, thank you, Karen. I hope you can join us for the workshop. But for now, keep your spirit light in sight and always remember to shine your light. Bye-bye for now. See you in a few weeks.